Hey everybody, it's Ashley and it's Wednesday. So I'm on my channel, Publish with Ashley on YouTube, here to give you great tips and about KDP and low content books and printables. Hey Teresa, how are you? Excited to be here. Okay, so today, let's see. Today's topic is ramp up your Q4 and KDP low content book sales with tips. So I've got some tips. Some you've maybe heard me say before, some maybe a little bit differently. I have some questions that people had asked me in my online Google form. I'm sorry I don't get to that every week. I kind of go through it every few weeks to see if I've gathered a few. So I've got a few questions. So if you asked a question, be sure and stay to the end because I'm going to answer your question. And I have a coupon for my website, so you can get $10 off because I had some questions about courses and various things. So make sure you stay to the end because I've got a coupon that will be good till 1 October. I think that's what I put in there. 1 October. At noon, I think. Something like that's like, what time? I'm like, I don't care. 1 October sometime. Okay, so let's see. Announcements for today. A few things. I put up free dot-to-dot Halloween pages. So if you wanted some fun things for your Halloween activity books, then I put up, I think there's 10 of them. They were really fun. Go ahead, get those. And that's on my website. Publishwithashley.podia.com. It should be in the notes. I think I actually have a link directly to the dot-to-dot page in the notes today. Let's see. I have my Get Started course for $29, and there's going to be a coupon at the end. The Get Started, it's really goes over all the basics. I really walk you through it very slowly. I talk about everything, and you can kind of just go along. So that's really helpful. PowerPoint tips. So I like to use all sorts of things. I do love to use PowerPoint. I spent a lot of time, because I'm an engineer, being a PowerPoint rager. I'm doing all the PowerPoint things, right? Showing people presentations, trying to convince them to, buy my idea or convince them that my engineering solution was the right one or what stuff. So I spent a lot of time on PowerPoint. So I have started a series on my YouTube channel of recorded videos about PowerPoint and hacks and things and ways to speed up stuff. Some of it may seem complex at first, like I talk about macros, and I have a free macros in one of them. But once you get it, it's not that hard, and you can always do it by hand. Like you can always save everything as PDFs and just save as. But things that are repetitive, I like to speed up and create like codes that will just run that for me, so I don't have to keep clicking when it's repetitive. Let's see. So check out playlists on YouTube. I'm going to be adding some more things to that. I had some requests like how to do and reorganize activity pages, and I can show you all sorts of fun tips and tricks and things on that because I like to rearrange things all the time. Also on my website, 365 free ideas if you sign up for my mailing list. I don't send out that many emails. I probably send out one a month. So don't fear that I'm going to send you a million emails. I suppose at maybe one time, if I really get into the habit, I'm going to start doing weekly free things. And so I'll send you, hey, here's a free weekly thing. We'll see. I have so many things going on. I don't know, but that's what I'm going to eventually gear up to. Subscribe, like my YouTube channel. Okay, there's all the announcements. Yay. Okay, so Q4 tips. All right. When should I start? When should I start preparing for Q4? Well, it's kind of like the answer to anything, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, before, right? Now, right? So if you haven't already started, start prepping for now. Just keep going. Just keep publishing, keep doing things. But with the eye on Q4, tip number 2 is repurpose any content, any journals and things that you have, and slant them towards the holiday type themes. So for example, if you have some maybe sloth notebooks or unicorn notebooks or whatever you have that sells really well, try and take a Christmas or a holiday or and we'll talk about kind of the different holidays, slant to it. So for example, the sloth, you could have the sloth with little Santa hat and lights, right? And then publish that. So you can take something you already have that especially if you have something that's selling and selling well, try and repurpose it for a holiday gift type theme, Q4 type theme. All right, so that's a good way to kind of reuse and get some more stuff up quickly. You can also, you can reuse all your keywords and everything that you've already created. You just have to put some holiday ones in there. So you just change up maybe one of your boxes and slant it towards gifts, Christmas, stocking stuffers, things like that, okay? All right. Okay, so now keep in mind, when you're creating things or new things or even things that you're repurposing, keep in mind that idea of Q4 and Q1. Q4 is a huge seller. Everything sells, right? So definitely think of holidays. Now the holidays in Q4, and this is not inclusive, like there's more things that could be in here. Halloween, Thanksgiving, shopping type things. I don't know how Black Friday is going to work this week, but maybe you can come up with a really good organizer for online shopping, because I bet you online shopping is going to be huge. And if you can come up with a cool interior, then online shopping. You're so organized. Teresa, I wish I could be more organized. It doesn't, everyone wishes they could be more, right? My best thing is that I'm trying to finish this one project I've been working on for a month, because it's very, very, very detailed, really detailed. Like I have to read, it's a low content book, but it's got 7 conceptual thinking type questions, one for each day of the week. And I have to read through a bunch of material to analyze it, to decide. So it's going to take me a while, but I'm going to sell it for $12.99. So I'm hoping it's going to do really well. I did a kids version that was way easy last year and it sold really well. So I'm hoping this adult version is going to sell better, but it is taking me a lot more time. So I'm hoping to finish all that by 1 October so that I can start uploading my calendars and all my calendar stuff 1 October. Okay, so I went back to Halloween. It's Q4, Halloween, right? Holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving shopping. Like I said, a planner maybe of some sort for online shopping. That would be really cool. I don't know what it would look like, but I'd sit down and think about it. Now other like Christmassy, like December, Kwanzaa, Halloween, Christmas, Hanukkah. I know there's a lot of other religions that have holidays around there. And if you are in that specific, like I know there's not as much Hanukkah themed items as there are Christmas, and there's not as many Kwanzaa as Christmas. So if you have a specific holiday that you celebrate during these 3 months, make stuff, right? Like it's going to be less crowded of a market. So in the particular one I'm doing with this whole analyzing and reading stuff, it's a very small market of people, but it's very specific to a certain religion, right? So I know that's not like going to sell billions of copies, but it's going to make me a few thousand this Christmas. So I'm kind of worthwhile, and then it'll sell throughout the year, but it's going to sell the most in December, January, and February. I have, like I said, I made a kids version last year, so I revamped my kids version and made it super awesome this year. It's so cute. I had my daughter draw a bunch of pictures to add coloring and activity pages to it, so it's really cute. And I'm hoping to charge a little bit higher price since it's an activity book this year as well, as a low content thing. And but it did take me more time. But last year that sold several thousand, so I'm hoping with this one and the adult version that I'm going to do well. I'm also taking these and putting them on Etsy. So that's something we're going to talk about. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to talk about this kind of case study that I'm doing. All right, so holidays, right? So now Q4 is fabulous. So exciting, right? Everyone's selling stuff, but what is scary, not scary, is sad, is Q1. So January starts, and these beautiful sales you've had up until like Christmas go boom, and tank, right? Totally tank. And so it's so sad. So last year I focused on Q4 and Q1. So that's why I have this whole plan to do planners and calendars and things like that. And I'm uploading them so that January and February don't depress me. Last year, January was not as good as Christmas, but it was really still good. I did about 3/4 of what I did at Christmas. So I was really excited about that. It made my January so much better. What sells best in January? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. All right. New Year's resolution. What sells in Q1? New Year's resolution things. People who want to improve something or change something. Ways you can get ideas are go to Quora, Reddit, forums. Like if you are in a specific niche that, maybe well, you have a hobby or something, and you're just not sure, like, oh, well, I mean, if you have a problem, then definitely that sort of thing. But I'm the type of person who doesn't notice. I was in the military, right? So I kind of just ignore problems and, keep going. So sometimes I have to look at forums, like a forum in my particular niche. Like I actually went onto a military forum and looked at problems military people have, because for me, I don't know, I just ignore it all. So I had to kind of take a step back. So even if you're interested in something, maybe look at a forum and see what kind of questions people ask. So people want to improve and change. And you want to do some research on what is low competition and high value. So other things, New Year's resolutions, right? So weight loss, money management. I sold budget planners last year. That was something that did well because that's kind of a calendar type item, right? I had dated ones and undated ones. The dated ones for me did better than the undated ones. The disadvantage, of course, of dated is I have to re-upload them this year with the new calendar days. So that kind of sucks. But once you make the calendar days, you can kind of reuse them for various topics. Let's see what else sells well. Weight loss always sells. Just people trying to change or improve. You know what? You can ask people what they think what their New Year's resolutions were last year, because they may not be thinking about what they are for this year. Don't make them feel bad. Just say, hey, I'm trying to come up with solutions to help people, this year for New Year's resolutions. And what kind of New Year's resolutions did you have last year? What kind of things you think might have helped you? So you can kind of like group source. That's another way to do it. So think of those sort of things. If you're really wondering, you can always Google, what do people make New Year's resolutions about? And then do some research, right? So problem solving, vision planners, vision boards, all sorts of stuff like that. That sells really well in the new year. Just kind of turn over new leaf type items. Okay, so that's what's going to sell. So think Q4, but don't remember, I always try and be positive. Remember about Q1. Try and start publishing things for Q1. The great thing about Q1 is you can start publishing those even if you don't finish them till December. You can start publishing those in December so that they're out there for January, because you're going to kind of want your gift type items on by December. Let's see. Consistency, keep going, right? So that's why I kind of said, think about past and beyond Q4, think to Q1, keep publishing stuff, keep publishing. If you don't get everything you want done for Christmas, try. But if it just doesn't happen, that's okay. You could always publish it into December. And if you get a few sales on it, that's great. Because if it's something that's evergreen, getting a few sales will kind of boost your, the algorithm, so you have a BSR, and then it'll continue to sell throughout the year. So, keep publishing, but maybe have your eye towards Q1, starting in, I'm starting my planners 1 October. But that's just me. I don't think I'm that organized, but I just put it on my calendar as I must do. And I planned this in months ago. We'll see. Cross my fingers it happens. Okay, plan, right? The way to be consistent is to plan. I know I had a YouTube video about planning, right? But planning, so decide what you can do and then plan time in or schedule time. There's a few ways. Depends on the person, what works for you. Know what kind of things work for you. Some people, if they set a time, they go and do it. Some people, if they set a number, I'm going to publish 1 planner a day, right? Because if you have an interior, then you could just make different covers. So maybe you make a cover, publish it. Or maybe your goal is to make 5 covers and then publish the 5 books the next day, right? Batching can work. It just depends upon the person. Know who you are. I'm a batcher. Unfortunately for me, I enjoy the creation process more than the publishing process. So I think I have about 60 things to publish that I haven't got around to publishing. Yeah, that's on my list. Publish 5 per day. So whatever. The other method is sprint method. So I know there's a term for it, but I can't remember what it's called, but sprinting. So let's say you don't want to put a number on yourself. Like, you only have 30 minutes of time. Okay. I only can spare 30 minutes. Well, that's fine. Try and sprint and see whatever you can get done in 30 minutes. And you would be amazed that if you just set yourself a little timer and then rush, like try and rush and get through it, you will be amazed at what you can do. Because sometimes, and rush doesn't mean low quality. I know everyone says low quality, but sometimes your best work comes when you know that you have a time limit. And I don't know if it's like the power of the mind and the world slows down or whatever. But don't think of it as poor quality. Thinking of it as high, intense, focused effort. Okay, so that gets you out of that mindset that I'm creating something bad. No, you're just solely focusing for 30 minutes on it. And you probably will create something much better than you think you will in that 30-minute time. Or 45 minutes, whatever. Let's see. So, race yourself. You could have contests with yourself. Oh, I got 2 covers done last time in 30 minutes. Oh, I got 3 covers this time. Oh, I'm back to 2, but that was more complex. That's okay, right? However you want to do it. Just have a plan, decide what your plan is, and then go for it. Don't make your plan overly complicated because that's just setting yourself up for failure. My husband's really big into tiny habits. I don't know if you've all read it, but he's so funny. He gets on a kick and he tries to pull me into his kick, right? So his big thing lately is he wants to get, better at push-ups and planks and sit-ups. So every time he goes to the bathroom, because like the idea is when you go do something that you have to do, like eat food, go to the bathroom, things like that you're going to go do, that you throw in something that it's a trigger, like going to the bathroom is a trigger. So his thing is he does, and you have to make it tiny and you can always do more. So it's like his goal is 5 push-ups and 30 seconds of plank. Well, he always ends up doing more than 5 push-ups and maybe a minute of plank or whatever he's up to now. I can't remember what he told me last. So, you just pick something that's like a trigger and then set a little habit like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. I need to do my 30-minute sprint, whatever works. Let's see. Teresa says, my daughter and I are trying out the 90-20 time in 90 is probably 80 or, oh, 9. Okay, there we are. You set a timer for 90 minutes of work and a 20-minute break. No answering the phone, going on Facebook, etc. for 90 minutes. So true. I have to focus. That's maybe that is my secret. I am a focus. I don't have the radio on. I will put headphones on and nothing on the headphones. Now, I know some people, like classical music might be something that people can get into because it's not distracting, but it does blur out the rest of this time. But yes, I am a focused person. My phone is always on silent. It's so funny. I lose my phone and my family's like, I'll call it. I'm like, it's on silent. I've had it on silent for 5 years now. Why do you say that? I can't believe they say that. I'll call it. I'm like, it's on silent. My phone is always, always, always on silent. I am never distracted by dings, pings, and phone calls. I know you're thinking, oh no, a phone call, right? Well, I have my watch and I've programmed my watch to notify me only when certain things occur. Phone calls are one because I get so few phone calls, text messages from certain people, and all my alarms and notifications. Like I have a bunch of things that say, go pick up your kids from school. Because I get so focused, I forget, right? I don't pay attention. So focus might be something for you. If you can sit down for 90 minutes, that's great. If you have to start with 30, start with that. All right. So tip number, I think I'm on 6. Past sales. So decide if you have past sales, even if you have just the past few months sales, see what's selling and then create things like that. Create things like that are focused on the gift niche for gift niche for Q4, the holidays. And then, or, Q1, because people do buy a lot of calendars, planners, New Year's resolution-y type things in December as well, because they it does start later in the December timeframe, but that's okay. It's still people thinking of that sort of thing. So based on what you've done or you've sold in the past, create things around that niche around, and maybe you can slant them for holiday stuff, or maybe you can take the idea and use it a little differently. Like I said, the sloth, you put some Christmas lights and a Santa hat and you make it a online shopping planner, right? Or I would say a guest list for Christmas or stuff, thing like that, but I don't know if there's going to be as many gatherings as this year. So think about that too. Think that times are maybe a little different this year. So if you're planning, like, I have some Halloween party books that sold last year, not selling so much this year. So, but that doesn't really shock me. So, think of that sort of thing too. Here's something. This is what I'm doing this year. So this is kind of my case study. So I had a kid's version of this specific activity book. It's kind of over the year, right? So this will be 2021 for next year. Very specific to a religion, right? And it did really, really well this last year. My negative comments were that they wanted to see more like activity coloring pages. Great. So this year I put a weekly activity coloring page. So 52 of them, right? I made mazes, dot to dots, coloring pages, the whole works. Okay. So I added all that to that. And then the specific things for that particular study plan. It's kind of like a Bible study thing, sort of. It's sort of like that. But it's specific, right? It's very specific to a specific niche. It did really well last year. So I've decided to create a brand around this. So I'm creating the kids version, the adult version. I created a logo. I made a website. Here's a unique little thing that I decided to do, but my goal for next year, 2021, is to set up the actual website. So I was like, oh, I don't want to set up a whole website for Christmas. I don't want to do it all. I don't want to commit to that. So I had two ideas. The first, which was super easy to implement, I got a website name. I went to namecheap.com, and for $888, yes, $888 for a year, I bought a domain name. Okay. And then what I did is I actually clicked on this particular author page and then redirected my URL that I purchased to my author page. Okay. So it's like you say, hey, check out all my book lists. So in my books at the very end, I have some pictures like, hey, here's some of my other books. Please check them out and I put my URL, and it just leads to the Amazon author webpage, right? Super easy. Super easy. The other idea, if I get to it, we will see, is to create a, MailChimp, I think, has a free email sign up if you get 1,000 emails or less. And you can make a page, what is it called? A product page that will basically capture emails. So you can offer something free. So if I get to this, my plan is to offer a few of the pages in this particular planner, or some maybe extra pages, and offer it as a freebie to get people onto an email list. So you don't even have to create something new. You could just take some of the pages. That's my plan, to take some of the pages I've already created in that, the ones that they may want to reprint or something like that, and offer those free, right? They might really, or, just some extra, I'm going to make a few coloring pages that are kind of fun and offer those for free as well. So you can get email addresses that way. And that way, next year, when I do my 2022, I can email all these people and say, hey, or throughout the year, I can start emailing them and saying, hey, I have a new product coming out, because I have a whole list of products I want to create under this brand. So there you go. I'm very this today, aren't I? I'm sorry. All right. Number 7, can you repurpose any of your material for your brand, right? So I'm taking what I have created of this brand, and I am actually putting it on Etsy as printables, because 2 reasons. One, I already have stuff, right? I've already created these items. So all I have to do them on Etsy is to build up the store a little bit. Yeah, make the store pretty. And then to make the pretty pictures on Etsy. Etsy, it's really important to make those product pictures. Just look on Etsy and see what catches your eye and say, ooh, those are pretty. Those make me want to buy stuff. Those are the kind of things you want to buy. Don't make this very hard. And then, so one, I already have stuff to put up there. So I just have to make the pretty pictures and upload it. And these are printables, right? So it's not something I have to watch or do much with. Number two, I actually did my research. And in this particular niche, there's a huge market on Etsy, more of a market than there is on Amazon. So that's a reason I'm doing that. And also on my KDP page, on the last page that says, go check out the other products on KDP, I have, hey, do you want to check out, are you interested in printables? Check out my Etsy store. And then I have my Etsy store and the URL. So why not? So, and I'm going to have some different stuff, obviously, on Etsy that wouldn't lend itself to KDP, like some color stuff that people would want to print. My daughter's creating a bunch of candy toppers, pencil toppers, novelty type items that people can print, and she's going to put that on part of the store. So number 8, yeah, that many fingers. Marketing. Okay, I ramp up I spend about $100 to $200 a month on marketing, and I'll admit in November my marketing costs go up on AMS quite a bit, but my sales go up exponentially. So I kind of have this steady amount of sales. I make money on my ads or I kill them. So I'm putting 200 in, but I'm making more than 200. And some months it's 100. Like last month it was 120-ish or something, and this month. September is always kind of sad because people are like window shopping. So they click on your ads, but don't intend to buy for another month or two. So September, I just have to breathe deeply and realize I'm not making as much as I normally would on my ads, but it'll be okay. It's okay. But November, you start seeing a lot more clicks and a lot more sales. So, you want to really kind of, if you have the budget, if you have the money, spend some time, a little bit of money, I think, in trying to figure out AMS ads during Christmas, because it's a good time to at least get your feet wet, and hopefully your ads will be profitable because there's a lot of buyers out there. Like I said, September is not a buyers type market. There's a lot of lookers, but not necessarily a lot of buyers. So September is like the worst month to do AMS. It's kind of depressing. And I've noticed that for 5-6 years. So now, if you're an FBA or some of those other things, that might be a different story. But in the book world, September's not that exciting on ads. They still work okay. They're just not as profitable as they usually are. Other marketing ideas, Pinterest and social media. I'm, yet again, with this brand I'm creating, I am doing I'm doing Pinterest. And no, I have not built out my Pinterest board. I have a whole plan. I just have not sat down and done it because I'm really trying to finish this product that I've been working on forever. I need to probably just stop for a bit because I'm getting frustrated and do just 1 or 2 a day and then work on other things like Pinterest. But I'm stubborn, so I work on the same thing, even though I'm not as productive as I probably could be. So I did give myself some grace, and I reset my schedule. I had this crazy notion to get everything done in 2 weeks, and it's just not going to happen. So I've said, okay, my goal is to do 3 a day, 3 weeks. So there's 52 weeks, right? So I'm down to 27 as of last night. So I need to do, after this YouTube channel, do 3. And hopefully I will be done eventually. But I'm going to start doing Pinterest as soon as I get that done. That's going to be my next focus. I have to upload all my planners and all that sort of stuff. But I kind of got that system down. So I will just spend, an hour each night doing that sort of thing, which it's okay. I'm going to watch TV and do it because it's like my least favorite part. So I'm going to watch Hallmark movies because I love Hallmark movies. I know they're so cheesy, but I love them anyway. So I'm going to watch Hallmark movies and upload my stuff. That's pretty much October for you. All right. So questions. Okay. questions. So let's see. I had quite a few people ask me about courses. I have a course. So what course would I recommend? Mine. It's $29. It's really, really, really awesome in the sense it's very walks you through it. It's got if you use PowerPoint, and I'm sorry it's not Mac friendly because Mac's just Mac, and PCs are PCs. So I have some templates and there's a bunch of stuff that you don't have to have. There's a bunch of stuff, but there's templates, and I have a pattern code in there, a macros that you can run and do patterns really quickly. Anyway, so I've got a lot of cool stuff in there. Now I have a coupon for $10 off anything on my store. I think I only have 2 items for sale, and everything else is free. So please check out publishwithashley.podia.com. It's in the show notes. The coupon code is 10 off. 10OFF. It's good. It's good on everything on my site, but I only have like 2 things on there. One day, right? Add more stuff, right? But you get the freebies, so enjoy the freebies. Let's see. It's good till 1 October at noon. So enjoy. Joanne had a question that said, she had a question about everything. Well, Joanne, check out my course. It's $19. You can't go wrong for $19. Even just like the software and all the stuff I offer in there, like software I say, but it's kind of a code for PowerPoint. It's awesome. And I had to laugh when you wrote everything. It just made me smile. Like, don't we all have questions about everything? But hopefully you're getting through it. And check out my PowerPoint tips, because it may not be organized. I think kind of randomly. I know you'll think I'm organized, but how I talk right now is I'm a talker thinker, right? So I talk and then I think about what I just said, which gets you into trouble. So check it out, and you can go through, and I'm going to add more to that YouTube channel with PowerPoint tips. I also have, that's in the next part. So Grace asked about how do you start? How do I even start? So the first thing I always suggest, and I suggest in my course, is make a journal for yourself. Make a journal and then order it and buy it for yourself. Now, I know there's some people in different countries that isn't possible for, but at least make something for yourself. Like, don't make it complex. Don't make it hard. Just make something. This thing they stumble on, the one thing everyone stumbles on is, I don't know what to make. I don't know where to start. I want it to be perfect. It won't be perfect. Your first journal is probably going to suck, and that's okay, right? So don't put that much time, effort into it. Just go throw it out into the world, and it's okay. Just start. Put something out there. Put some funny saying on a black cover with lines, blank lines, okay? Just put blank lines, like a journal or something. Make it really easy. Throw it out into the world, and then once you've uploaded 2 or 3 of those type things, then please start thinking about, like, what more can I do? Because you don't get it until you do it. And if you're thinking about doing it, you're not actually doing it, so you're not going to get anywhere. You're just thinking about it, and it's like this circle that never goes anywhere. Do sales traditionally, Ella asked, do sales traditionally go down in September? Is there a way to know when books are purchased, not shipped? No. Right now, yes, September. Now, September, I checked my sales last year. I had a really good September because the previous year, my September sales sucked. So I decided last year to add a bunch of teacher planners, and school type teacher stuff that sells in September. So last year's September was fantastic. This September, I've sold some of my teacher planners, but I think just with this whole teachers going back with virtual, they didn't even know what they were doing, right? So a planner, I don't know, maybe people did really well with teacher planners and they were focused on virtual planning. I bet those probably did sell, because if you made something cool and creative like that, that maybe did sell. So yes, September sales are slower, but there are niches that sell well in September. So you can look in Google Trends and start typing in, things you think might sell in September and see what the trends are. Like, look at a 5-year trend You can just Google, put Google Trends. It'll take you to Google Trends. And then put in a topic. It just has a box. Put in a topic. It shows you a graph. Then click on 5 years so you can just see more than 1 year and see where the spikes are. So you can do that for any topic and see what would be in September. So that's something. Now, can you know when sales are shipped? No. Or can you know when sales are purchased and not shipped? No. My children are screaming. I think they're making mac and cheese. I don't know what they're doing. Sigh. Okay. I think they're on break from virtual learning. Anyway, so can you tell when they're shipped? That's the only time that KDP tells you. Right now, do note that I saw on KDP US that it's taking, instead of it saying like it takes 2 days, it's usually taking 4 days before it'll ship. So your sales are even going to be more delayed than previously. It's probably printers or COVID, or I'm not sure why, but I have been noticing that. So it's going to be even slower. It all catches up though. The best thing to do about KDP is not stress about your daily sales. I say that, yet I check my KDP sales like a crazy person and hit refresh. But I don't stress about it. I do click the button a lot, but I don't stress because I know what will happen is you'll get like 4 or 5 days of no sales or a few sales or whatever. And then like 4 days later, you get this huge spike of 20, 30 sales. Yeah, there's no way to do it. The best you can do to see if things are selling is look on a monthly basis. Download your monthly reports. Under report, you can go and download your report. It's like generate a report. You can generate a report and see, what's been selling, how many it's selling, and what. It's more about totals than about what day it's selling. So just kind of look at monthly totals for particular brands and not necessarily daily sales, because it's not accurate. And I know people are stressing like, oh, but what if KDP is cheating me? Well, they could be, but then again, they're also offering you this awesome platform for free. So, you don't have to play in their playground. You can go be on Etsy and know exactly when it sells. Though, yet again, you're still probably trusting Etsy that something sold and they're not just taking your money. I know it's a little frustrating, but you kind of learn to deal with it and look at the monthly, yearly look rather than the daily look. And that helps a lot if you kind of pull back a little bit. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Grace, other things on starting. So yes, make your first books for yourself and just start. Tools. She asked about tools. The tools I like are tangent templates, book bolts. I have KDP Rocket 2, which I like. And so those are some of the tools. Free interior. Now I'm actually gonna do a video from BookBolt. They have a bunch of free interiors that you can get to. They have a bunch of free ones, and then if you have them, they're pro subscriptions. You can get more interiors, but they have a lot of free ones that are really good that you want to change them up. So any interior you get from anywhere, you're always going to want to change it up, make it your own, mix and match it with things, do your own thing with it. So I'm going to do kind of a video on pulling out a free interior from there and then showing you how to mix it and match with different things. But that's something you can do. If you're doing it on the cheap, BookBolt, free interiors, you can use Canva, and you can use Google Slides, which is free to everybody. And then a lot of people already have PowerPoint. So it might be free in the sense that you already have it or some version of it. So it's a pretty common program that a lot of people already have. So that's why one of the reasons I recommend that too, because a lot of people already have it. A lot of people are already familiar with it, especially if they work in an office setting. It's hard to escape PowerPoint. So it's another reason I suggest that, and it might be free to you. But yeah, you can use, update, Canva will now export directly, even on the free version, to PowerPoint. So that's pretty cool. I have not fiddled with that yet, but that's pretty cool. Okay, so other, tools. Yeah, I said, she asked about what courses are good. Mine. Publishedwithashley.podia.com. Check it out. $10 off. 10 OFF. 10 OFF. Yes, there we go. I can do that. That's good till 1 October. And I think that's it. Wow, I did a lot of talking today. I'm so sorry. I was hoping this could be done in less than 30 minutes, but I chatted way too long. But I hope this was helpful for you. I know a lot of people just want to throw a lot of stuff up there and not make a brand and not do all that. And that's fine. You can do that. I've found in my KDP journey that it's fun. I do random stuff and I throw them out there all the time because I want to sate that creative urge in me to just have an idea and go do it. Awesome. But I do believe there's something around once you find your groove, to create a niche. And so that's what I've been trying to settle into in the past I kind of decided what I wanted to do and I'm kind of settling into that this next, end of this year to try and get those Q4 sales to boost everything. And then gonna really push for that to work on that niche next year with the website and all that sort of stuff. But I was kind of trying to do it easy this year, just work into it in stages. But there is something about building that brand, creating something that's a little more lasting than just throwing things up there. But in the beginning, throw things up there, learn the process, learn what you're doing. And as you get better, as you understand what you're doing, as you get sales and find out what sells for you, then you can start creating that brand. And I've been doing this a long time and I kind of wandered through brands, probably too many brands, until I kind of hit on that golden thing that was what I enjoyed doing, what I found a market for, that it's a small market, maybe there's 10,000 buyers out there, but they're kind of a ravenous audience. So it just took me a while to find I do well, right, with all my stuff, because I spent a lot of time on my tours. If you see my Q4 planner and join my Facebook group, there's a free planner course. I spend a lot of time on my interiors. So I do well, but I wasn't willing to commit to a brand kind of until this year. And that's okay. I've been doing this 5 years. I wasn't willing to commit until this year. So do play with it. You can make money either way. I think there's definitely a long-term business plan in creating that brand, being that brand people look for. So that's my eventual plan. Thanks for being my KDP therapist. Aw, I do try and be positive. I'm always right. Have grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. It's okay not to be perfect. I have 4 kids. I know there's people, I was reading on a forum and there was a husband and wife team. It was actually very inspiring. They said in the past year, they have just hit the $100,000 mark in not sales, in actual royalty. That doesn't include what they had in ads or any of that sort of stuff, but they hit $100,000 in royalties. But he said he and his wife are working 12 hours a day to make that happen. Okay, so it is possible to do that really pretty quick. He said he did it in 9-10 months. But he and his wife are both work, so that's 24 hours in a day, right? 24 hours, 7 days a week, and that's what they got. I'm not willing to commit that much time to it. So I've been building this up for 5 years. I do better and better every year. I make a full-time income. It's not $100,000 a year yet, but I'm also not spending 12 hours a day doing this. I maybe spend 2 hours a day if I'm really lucky with my 4 kids. Just give yourself some grace, give yourself some time to experiment. I'm always telling myself, it's okay, Ashley. You don't need to make $1 million next year, right? I don't need to do that. I want to do what I like and what I want to do and when I want to do it. And so I'm kind of finding that balance always. I always have to talk to myself and remind myself, it's okay. I can do this. I have 4 kids. They're happy normally. And apparently I'm very excited to make mac and cheese if you heard them earlier. So we had mac and cheese last night. mac and cheese night. I made gourmet mac and cheese. And tonight we're having Waffle Wednesday. So we bought Nutella and bananas and strawberries and whipped cream, and we're having waffles tonight. So, you know, it's okay. Just enjoy of your life. And if you want to work 12 hours a day, go for it, because maybe that's a better alternative. But you don't have to be that way either. So that's it. I really talked way too long today. So thank you all for being live. Thank you for coming. Publishwithashley.podia.com, $10 off. What is it? Yeah, 10 off. That's the coupon code. And I will see you all next week.